हरे कृष्णा हरिदेव कृष्ण प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Today we are very fortunate and glad to have the association of His Grace Haridev Krishna Prabhu. Will be sharing the nectar from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 5, chapter number 18, and sloka number 15. Buji, over to you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna प्रभु जी, thank you. I seek the blessings of all the devotees. I thank the management for giving an opportunity to read and hear Srimad Bhagavatam and share whatever I heard as per my limited capacity. Hare Krishna. We start with prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. Hare Krishna. So this is fifth canto, 18th chapter. Chapter is entitled The Prayers Offered by the Residents of Jambu Dvipa. And 15th shloka. This is in prose order. I will recite it. केतुमाले पि भगवान् कामदेव स्वरूपेण लक्ष्म्या प्रियचिकीर्षाय दुहितॄणां पुत्राणां तद्वर्ष पतीनां पुरुषायुषो रात्रा परि परिसं परिसंख्यानां यासां गर्भमहापुरुष महापुरुष महास्त्र महास्त्र तेजसो द्वेतिज मनसां विद, विद्वस् विद्वस्ता व्यसनः संवत्सरेण संवत्सरान्ते विनिपतन्ति. Word to word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Word to word meaning, Ketumale, in the tract of the land known as Ketumala Varsha, Api, also Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, Kamadeva Swarupena, in the form of Kamadev, Cupid or Pradyumna, Lakshmya, of the goddess of fortune, Priya Chikirshaya, with a desire to bring about the satisfaction, Prajapatehe, of Prajapati, Duhitranam, of the daughters, Putranam, of the sons, Tadvarshapatinam, the ruler of that land, Purusha Ayusha, in a human lifetime, about 100 years, Aharatra, the days and nights, Parisankyananam, which are equal in number, Yasham, of whom the daughters, Garbhaha, fetuses, Mahapurushaha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mahaastra, of the great weapon, the disc, Tejasa, by the effulgence, Udvejita Manasam, whose minds are agitated, Vidvastaha, ruined, uh, Vyasavaha, dead, Samvatsara Ante, at the end of the year, Vinipatanti, fall down. Translation. Shukadev Goswami continued, in the tract of land called Ketumala Varsha, Lord Vishnu, in the form of Kamadev, lives in the form of Kamadev only for the satisfaction of his devotees. These include Lakshmiji, the goddess of fortune, the Prajapati Samvatsara, and all of Samvatsara's sons and daughters. The daughters of Prajapati are considered the controlling deities of the nights, and his sons are considered the controllers of the days. The Prajapati's offsprings number 36,000, one for each day and each night in the lifetime of a human being. At the end of each year, the Prajapati's daughters become very agitated upon seeing the extremely effulgent disk of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus they all suffer miscarriages. Purport. This Kamadev, who appears as Krishna's son named Pradyumna, is Vishnu Tattva. How this is so is explained by Madhvacharya, who quotes from Brahmanda Purana. Kamadeva Sthitam Vishnu Upasate. Although this Kamadev is Vishnu Tattva, his body is not spiritual but material. Lord Vishnu, as Pradyumna or Kamadev, accepts a material body, but he still acts spiritually. It does not make any difference whether he accepts a spiritual or a material body. He can act spiritually in any condition of his of existence. Mayavadi philosophers regard even Lord Krishna's body as material, but their opinions cannot impede the spiritual activity of the Lord. Hare Krishna. We'll offer prayers. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namni Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaurav Vishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Devi Pranamami Haripriye वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So again, I seek the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas before we begin to discuss on this shloka. So this chapter it mainly talks about all the 9 varshas of Jambudvipa and all the preceding deities who are there and the great personalities uh, or the leaders of that who are offering very wonderful prayers in glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So prior to this, we have seen prayers offered by the residents of Bhadravarsha. We'll just go to the chapter here. Chapter summary. So the chapter begins with the predominating ruler of Bhadrashva Varsha is Bhadrashava, and he, along with his servants, they worship Lord Hayagriva, or also known as Hayashirsha, and they offer respectful prayers to them, to Hayagriva. We have seen that in the beginning, and we also have seen how at the end of each kalpa, a demon called Agnan steals the Vedic knowledge, and Lord Hayashirsha or Hayagriva kills the demon and preserves and hands over that Vedic knowledge back to Lord Brahma. Then the next we saw the uh, residents of Harivarsha, and the leader of Harivarsha is the most exalted devotee Prahlad Maharaj, who worships Lord Narsimha. So in Harivarsha, the predominating deity is Lord Narsimha, and the predominating devotee is Prahlad Maharaj, and he offers very wonderful prayers. Um, how, uh, in fact, here, if you see the prayers offered, so nice. So, Prahlad Maharaj is offering, uh, O Lord, who possess nails and teeth just like thunderbolt, kindly vanquish our demon-like desires for fruitive activity. So, uh, he's representing all of us in this material world. Every one of us, whatever we do for some results, fruits. Even in bhakti, sometimes we want to take up some services only, which gives us recognition. When we chant alone, we may chant very casually, but when we chant with devotees, we may want to show I'm chanting very attentively, just again so that there is recognition, like that. So even Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, Dushta man tumi kisera avaishnava. How you're always a Vaishnava, always behind puja, la, pratishtha, like that. So Narsimha, Prahlad is praying, let this demon-like desires for fruitive activities go away. Please appear in our hearts and drive away our ignorance, because by your mercy we can become fearless in the struggle for existence in this material world. And then Prahlad is speaking, praying for the good fortune of all throughout the universe. Let all the envious persons be pacified. May all living entities become calm by practicing Bhakti Yoga. And by accepting Bhakti Yoga, they will think of each other's welfare. So, in this current situation where there is so much crisis of war, hate, etc., Prahlad Maharaj is praying that let all the envious people be pacified and become calm by practicing bhakti. And then Prahlad is praying about how let us not feel attraction for the protection by the fallible soldiers, like the family, uh, bank balance, relatives, so on. If at all we want some attachment, let it be for the devotees who are the only friends of Lord Krishna. Like that he's praying. And next, one other very much apt thing Prahlad is praying, especially in the Kali Yuga, where it is characterized by karma prayas, where every one of us want to work hard, 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 so that we can become more materially accomplished, more materially comfortable. So he's saying, a person who is self-realized and controlled his mind is perfectly satisfied with the bare necessities of life. He does not over endeavor to gratify his senses. Such a person advances in Krishna consciousness, whereas others, too attached to material things, find advancement very difficult. So, this verse was an acid check. Anytime we are feeling our Krishna consciousness is a little difficult advancing, it is not because of any others except our own attachments to material things. So I was practically relating in my own life because of the greed, because of wanting to uh, compete, show off to the world how I am no less, I am also smart, competent, capable. We work hard and are not satisfied with the bare necessities. And then, when devotees ask us, how is your bhakti going on? Often the common answer is, Prabhuji, we are really struggling. Some of us may say it out of humility, but many of us, we practically, at least in my case, because we are so attached to material things, we ourselves complicate our life. Like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur uh, gave that example of that story where a person, he was feeling very hungry, and because of that he was having lot of stomach pain, so he was clinging on to the cold pillar, because when you cling on to the cold pillar sometimes the stomach pain reduces. So then there was another person who said, please come, I have food for you. but you have to just give up that cold pillar, then only you can come. But he was so afraid to leave that cold pillar because for moments there may be little inconvenience or stomach pain. So he said, no, 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 I will continue here only. In the same way, Maya is not uh, catching us many a times. We are only embracing Maya. Like that's what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur narrates in that story. For some time, when we give up Maya, we haven't yet attained Krishna fully. There may be some uh, mm, little inconvenience. Our heart may feel, oh, all others are flourishing materially so much. I'm just having a meager life and focusing on bhakti, etc. But once one gets Krishna, he becomes fully satisfied. Just like once one person eats food, he doesn't need to hold on to that cold pillar anymore. Even in the Bhagavatam, beginning verses, it is mentioned how Bhagavatam is for Nirmatsaranam or the non-envious people. And in the purport, Prabhupada writes, this material world is categorized by envy. Just 1 minute. This material world is characterized by envy. And what is the nature of this envy? Envy means struggle for existence. One wants to show to the world that I'm very good. There, Prabhupada writes, devotees are not interested in this competition because their aim is to go back home, back to Godhead. And there is no competition. Everyone has our fixed service, our position is reserved. So there is no competition there that way. And then now in the fifth, like that, he offers many more prayers. And now in the 15th shloka, the Ketumala Varsha is described, and the residents of Ketumala, the Prajapati Samvatsara, all his sons and daughters, and Ramadevi or Lakshmi ji resides there. And in this verse it is said, Shukadev Goswami continued, in the tract of land known as Ketumala Varsha, Ketumale api Bhagavan. Bhagavan means the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. Kamadeva Swarupena, in the form of Kamadev, Cupid or Pradyumna. And why does he reside? Just for the pleasure of his devotees, for the satisfaction of his devotees. And who are these devotees there? Mainly Lakshmi ji, Prajapati Samvatsara, and all of sons and daughters. And the daughters are said to be controlling deities of night, and his sons controlling deities of the day. And Prajapati has 36,000 offsprings, 18,000 daughters, 36,000 daughters, 36,000 sons, one for each day and each night. Uh, in a lifetime of a human being, like that. At the end of each year, the Prajapati's daughters become very agitated upon seeing the extremely effulgent disk of the personality of Godhead, and thus they suffer miscarriages. In the purport, Prabhupada is mentioning, mm, uh, first we'll discuss about the purport, then few other extra points. How this Kamadev is the same person who appears as Krishna's son, Pradyumna. And he is Vishnu Tattva, but uh, although he is Vishnu Tattva, he's taken a material body. So here sometimes Mayavadis may take this to an advantage and say Lord has a material body. But what is the meaning of that? I was hearing the descriptions from some senior Vaishnavas on the same shloka. There they've elaborated more also. Although this Kamadev is Vishnu Tattva, his body is not spiritual but material. But Prabhupada is also clarifying Lord Vishnu, as Pradyumna or Kamadev, accepts a material body, but he still acts spiritually. It does not make any difference whether he accepts a spiritual or a material body. He can act spiritually in any condition of his existence. So little elaboration on this, just one. So elsewhere, we see in the Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna says, Janma karma chame divyam. That means it may look material, but everything of Lord is spiritual. And Prabhupada, in one place in Bhagavatam, I think it is in the Kapila section, there Prabhupada is writing, Kapila was born through the seminal discharge of Kardama Muni. That means Kapila was born through the semen. That means it looks like any other ordinary material birth. But when you look at Krishna, Krishna was transferred from the heart of Vasudev to the mind of, I mean, from the mind to the heart of Vasudev, then transferred to Devaki's heart, and then in the womb, and then Krishna appeared. So there in that purport, Prabhupada clarifies whether Lord is born from the heart or through seminal discharge, any form, still the Lord always remains spiritual. We can also see the example of how Varaha appeared. Varaha appeared from a filthy place, which is the nose of Lord Brahma, and he took the form of a wild boar, which is also considered very dirty. But as soon as Varaha appeared and shook his body, uh, the droplets of water that was stuck on his body sprinkled all around, and all the saintly persons, they felt fragrant, and they started glorifying the beauty of the wild boar, the fragrance, everything was glorified. So this is Lord, even if he appears in a so-called, one may feel, oh, it's like any other material birth, but the Lord continues to act spiritually. Even a pure devotee, although has a material body, uh, uh, by constant touch with Krishna consciousness and serving Krishna, his body becomes spiritualized. We say just like iron rod in fire becomes fiery. So if a pure devotee having a body made of Panchamahabhut, mm, uh, and passing stool, urine, etc., but by the dint of his service to Krishna, his body becomes spiritualized, then what to speak of the Supreme Lord himself? There are many examples. Even Lord Rishabdev, when he appeared, uh, it is said in one verse that Rishabdev passed stool. So, stool. So, passing stool means one may consider the body is material. But what was the nature of that stool of Rishabhadev? It was so fragrant. And there Prabhupada says, uh, anyone who cannot make his stool as fragrant as Rishabhadev cannot claim that he is an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, like that. So, this is what we understand here, that material, in the sense, it may look like any other material body, but still the Lord acts spiritually. And some other devotees were also explaining why the word material is used, because for the living entity, a conditioned soul, uh, he cannot see anything spiritual. So, in order for bestowing mercy, the Lord takes a human like form, made of a form which the normal eyes, mundane eyes can see. But in no way one should think that, okay, Lord's body is also Panchamahabhut, it is subject to the same miseries like hunger, thirst, old age, disease, etc. So, that is something that uh, we can discuss from here. And then we can also elaborate on how the Lord appears in different forms only for the satisfaction of his devotees. Recently, I was watching one is ISKCON Chowpatty Drama Festival. Just 1 minute. Sorry for the disturbance. So we were also recently hearing on how
We're telling about the drama, Prabhu.
yes, thank you, Mataji. So recently I was watching this ISKCON Chowpatty Drama Festival where they had uh, narrated a beautiful drama on how the drama's name was Ye Yatamam Prapadyante. And how Lord is so merciful that He always reciprocates not just with the feelings of His devotees, with every living entity, and uh, tries to bestow mercy also. Like if we look at the pastime of there all the pastimes of Krishna entering Dwaraka to kill, I mean, sorry, entering Mathura to kill Kamsa. All that was told. So, how Kamsa uh, was in his previous life Kalanemi and he was killed by Vishnu. Again, he had that same kind of hateful feeling towards Krishna. So, Krishna reciprocated in the form of uh, wanting to uh, destroy or fight with this one uh, Kamsa. And when it came to the washerman who was in Mathura, that washerman was the same washerman who previously blasphemed Mother Sita. And the Lord wanted to uh, again bestow mercy by getting him rid of his fault finding tendency by suitably punishing him. So, even in this lifetime, Lord gave him an opportunity to serve and in that way rectify his mistake. But the living entity, the washerman, was adamant, I will not hand over the clothes to you. It is only meant for Supreme Lord, I mean, for the king, Kamsa, and not for you. And who are you? You are just enjoying with women of Vrindavan, etc. Like that was mentioned. Uh, he blasphemes. So then, to get rid of his blasphemous tendency, Lord finally kills him. Then he goes and meets Kubja. And who was Kubja? In her previous life, she was Shurpanaka. Shurpanaka had a desire to enjoy with Lord Ram and Lakshman. But unfortunately, Lord Ram and Lakshman, she was eager to enjoy only out of lust. And Lord Ram was a Ekapatni Vrat he had taken. So he said, I cannot fulfill this desire. And then, uh, because of her lust, she even wanted to kill Mother Sita so that there won't be any hindrance for her to enjoy Lord Ram. And finally, Lakshman cuts off the nose. And that same Shurpanaka, Lord reciprocates to satisfy his desire in the form of Kubja. She comes with a hunchback and she does little service of offering sandalwood, and then that was enough. Lord uh, transformed her into a beautiful form and then fulfilled her desire also eventually. So, this is the reciprocation of the Supreme Lord. Uh, Even we see how Putana, in her previous life, She was the sister of Bali Maharaj. Uh, Her name was Ratnavadi. And initially, when she saw the beautiful form of Lord Vamana, she became so attracted. She said, I want to have a son like Vamanadev, extremely beautiful. But then, when she saw that Lord Vamana had taken away the entire property and kingdom of his brother Bali Maharaj, she became very hateful towards Vamana. And instead of wanting to beget him as a son, she wanted to kill him. So Krishna satisfied both those desires by giving her the form of Putana and arranging the whole pastime where she comes to feed Krishna milk, but also she smeared her breast with poison. So this is the nature of the Lord. The Lord uh, always tries to reciprocate and satisfy the desires of every living entity. But within that satisfaction, unlike any other demigod who may just satisfy without caring for the overall welfare of the living entity, the Lord is always planning how I will try to convert his adharmic desires into dharmic desires. So that is the nature of the mercy of the Lord. So uh, uh, he converted the adharmic desires into dharmic, or somehow give some mercy. So by giving some chance to render service and eventually purify that living entity of all anarthas and take that living entity back home, back to Godhead. So this is the merciful nature of Krishna, and that is why Lord also appears as a merciful in the merciful form of the deity. It is mentioned in the scriptures the advantages of deity. It's the deities are very saulabhya means saulabhya means very very easily accessible. Mm. And they're also saushilata means very much reciprocated. Sometimes devotees pray, and at that time suddenly the garland may fall, one flower may fall from the Lord's uh, vigraha. So in that way, Lord reciprocates very quickly. Sometimes devotees pray, suddenly Pujari comes and gives Mahaprasad. So sometimes mm, devotees go for the Rath Yatra, and suddenly the Pujari throws Jagannath's Mahagarland or some fruits offered to Jagannath. In that way, very easy to reciprocate. So I also remember, because this verse is talking about Kamadev, I remember in our ISKCON Mayapur, Radha Madhav temple, one very nice incident happened. Radhe Shyam Prabhu quotes it. We were all there actually in that camp. It was every year Radhe Shyam Prabhu would take all the youths to Mayapur for Utkarsh camp after first year of engineering, training them, and that is where many of them get to uh, chant 16 rounds. They take up commitment of 16 rounds. So once Prabhu was taking all the juniors to Mayapur, and there the Pujari had dressed Krishna in the form of Kamadev actually, and there the Lord Radha Mother had a flute, but he also had a bow and arrow, the Kamadev's bow and arrow. And this was a new devotee. He was standing next to Radhesham Prabhu, and he just asked one question: Does the Lord need bow and arrow to attract? He's actually so beautiful. Just his eyebrows are so beautiful. His form is so beautiful. His flute is so beautiful. Does he need this bow and arrow? And the moment this devotee asked, we saw that the bow and arrow fell. And the pujari made two or three attempts to try to put the bow and arrow, but it wasn't just fitting. And then Radhesham Prabhu was quoting in the class, just see, a new bhakta, but the Lord is so reciprocative. to the feelings that he's reciprocating that way. So this nice thing that came to my mind. So this is the DT, easy to access, mm, gives us an opportunity to render service. By daily bowing down in front of the DT, one makes advancement, very reciprocative, and samipya, very close. One can go very close to the DT by bathing the DT, embracing the DT, massaging the limbs of the DT, like that. And vatsalyata, one can also show one's caring nature for the deity by dressing, decorating, feeding nice boga, offering nice boga to the deities, like that. So this is one form of Lord's mercy. Another form of Lord's mercy is how he uh, reciprocates personally with all devotees. Like in Ramayana, even the uh, rishis were praying, we want to serve you like Mother Sita in an intimate form. And they all became Rishicharini gopis in the Vrindavan Leela. So this is another way. Then in the form of books, Lord mercifully appears and tries to reclaim the conditioned soul. Uh, Even in Bhagavad Gita, we see Krishna is saying, Dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. Even lust, which is not contrary to the principles of religion, that is also me, like that. So Lord fulfills the desires of the living entity by making it in line with Dharma, uh, and eventually purifies them of all the desires. Because once it is dharmic, the desires eventually get purified because it is not unrestricted, uncontrolled that way. So, in that way, that is the merciful nature of the Lord. Then, the extreme form of his mercy is he sends his pure devotees to reclaim the conditioned souls. So, they come regularly and plead the living entities to connect back to the abode of all pleasure, who is the Supreme Lord. So, this is something that we can also talk on, how the Lord always uh, takes on different roles for the satisfaction of his devotees. And with regard to this verse, unfortunately, whatever lectures I heard, I could not hear any elaboration on why these Prajapati daughters they suffer miscarriages. What is the significance of that? I could not uh, get elaboration. But one thing we can understand, even in the previous uh, chapter, in the verse number 12, mm, where I will try to take that here only. It is said how a description of Jambudvipa, I think here, verse number 12. Mm, Here, 17th chapter. It is said, mm, except Bharata Varsha, all the other 8 Varshas, they are called Bhusvarga, or heavenly planets within the Jambudvipa. And there human beings live for 10,000 years according to earthly calculations. They are almost like demigods. Hmm. And the youthful duration of their life is very pleasing. And men and women enjoy sexual union with great pleasure for a long time. And after years of sensual pleasure, when a balance of 1 year of life remains, then the wife conceives a child, like that. So maybe there is some connection. I need to cross check with senior devotees between this shloka and here. Here also it is said that they don't beget any children, and they suffer miscarriages. So probably it is something to do with that shloka. So here in that purport also, it is said, in all these 8 verses, although they enjoy sex pleasure, there is no pregnancy. Pregnancy takes place only in lower grade of life. So here probably there is pregnancy, but there is miscarriage also, like that. So, uh, and why it happens is because of the glaring effulgence of the Sudarshan chakra. That way. So that is something that I need to check with some senior devotees for more elaboration. The daughters are the controlling deities of the night, and the sons are the controlling deities of the day. And for devotees, with rising and setting of sun and moon, we understand we are going one day closer to death. But if we take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of hearing His messages, chanting His holy names, etc., then we go closer to eternal life. And one other most merciful form of Lord's incarnation is the form of the holy name, where one can be delivered. Even in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the conversation between Haridas Thakur and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu says, I'm very concerned how all the Yavanas will be delivered. And Haridas Thakur says, they usually say haram. And when they say haram, they actually get the benefit of chanting Lord Ram's name. In that way, they get mukti, like that. So, how will the trees be delivered? When we do Sankirtan loudly, they also hear the holy name. They will also be delivered, like that. So, in that way, in the form of holy name, Lord is mercifully descended also, mm, to bestow His mercy to all of us. So these are few things I wanted to share. Please forgive me if I spoke anything inappropriate or beyond my realization. Seeking your blessings so that I may also uh, uh, give up material attachments and go closer to Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Very nicely you told. Prabhu, that how did this Hayagriva form come, Prabhu?
Uh, I have to check Mataji. I have to see that. Not able to recollect exactly.
Yes, yes. So very nice. Lot of new things we got. And how Krishna has answered that student was very nice. The devotee, sorry, not a student, devotee.
Uh,
Mayapur. Wonderful man.
yes.
Thank you for sharing all that, Prabhu. We don't read so much. I only hear. Thank you so much. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes.
Thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhu. I missed that first beginning. But you said in the end, the daughters and the sons are the deities. I didn't understand that, Prabhu.
Oh, the daughters and the sons of Prajapati, they are the controlling deities of the nighttime and daytime. There are how much 36,000
Daughters and
days
sons.
and nights, and that many children are there, sons and daughters. Each of them are the like we say, no, even when we do this sankalpa, we say samvatsara, vaivasvate, manvantare, all that. So samvatsara means the he is like 1 year, and each year there are days, and I mean one lifetime. In each lifetime there are days and nights, and each of them are controlled by one offspring of this Prajapati Samvatsara.
Daughters control night and sons
Yes,
control
sun
day.
control day. Yes, correct.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Dandavat.
Dandavat.
Hare Krishna devotees, any other comments or reflections? Prabhuji, there are no other questions. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for the class. And we will end today's session with the Vaishnava Pranam. Om Kalpata Rubhyasya Kripa Sindhu
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna devotees, thank you very much. We will end this Zoom session. Hare Krishna.